In the NHL, free agency isn't as wide open a market as it is in other sports. Typically, big names who are set to become restricted free agents and get a chance to test the open market are either signed to big contracts before they leave or are traded to another team willing to sign them. Even if neither of these things happen, the team an RFA plans to leave can still match the qualifying offer of the team courting their free agent, and the player can decide which offer to accept, and if he does leave his team, they get draft picks as compensation. Of course, there are unrestricted free agents, which typically are players that are either unhappy with arbitration or their originating team simply don't want to pay them what they think they are worth, or they don't like the town they are currently playing in. With all this being said, typically the free agent market in the NHL is filled with role players or declining stars, and GMs have to not only use their cap dollars wisely, but get value and plug holes in their roster without overpaying for services. However, this year's free agent class from the offseason is showing some big dividends for the teams that took a chance on them. So here are the top 5 free agent signings, either restricted or unrestricted, of the season so far. And for my nitpickers out there, these are for free agents that were acquired during the open offseason signing period. Waiver wire and preseason scrap heap pickups don't count for the list, though you can certainly tell me which of these you think is best. Number 5, Thomas Vanek. On July 1st, 2016, the Wings signed Thomas Vanek, the 33-year-old Austrian, nice accent, New Jersey, to a 1-year, $2.6 million contract, having previously been a highly compensated player for the Wild, where they agreed to pay him $19 million over 3 years to put in some pretty average seasons. The Wild chose to buy out the last year of his contract and let him loose. And the Red Wings were able to capitalize, as no dummy would pay Vanek what the Wild paid him, coming off an average 41-point season. And Vanek has paid dividends for the Wings, even though they are struggling in the standings, to the tune of 33 points in 41 games, and has been productive enough to make him the subject of serious trade deadline rumors, as he could very well help a contender make a cup run. Not bad for the fact that at $2.6 million, the Red Wings are getting a bargain on a guy that's quietly having a very solid year. Not to the tune of his Buffalo days where he put up 84 points in 2007, which was a decade ago. But hey, value is value. We'll see where Vanek ends up before March 1st. Let me know where you think he fits in best, but for now, he was a great find. Kind of like that time you found $10 in your jeans and spent it at the dollar store and now you think you're a baller. Number 4, Chad Johnson. Aw yeah, Ocho Cinco in the house. When the Flames traded for Brian Elliott in the offseason, they thought they had their goaltending problems solved. Elliott had just come off a successful conference finals run, and it looked like the often inconsistent Tendy had finally put it all together and could be the Flames' steady presence in net for years to come. So Chad Johnson was signed as an afterthought in the offseason to a 1-year, $1.7 million contract. And then, of course, Brian Ellioted. And Chad Johnson essentially took over that de facto number 1 slot in the Flames' net, playing in 31 out of their 56 games so far. Elliott has appeared in 27 games, so you could say the Flames have recreated the exact problem they tried to eliminate when Kari Ramo and Jonas Hiller didn't want the job. That being said, Johnson hasn't been bad at all. A .94 save percentage, 2.48 goals allowed per game, 3 shutouts, and a 17-12 1-loss record. Compared to Elliott, who is sporting a .895 save percentage, letting in 2.85 goals per game, and a sub-500 record of 11-13. And Elliott makes a cool $1 million more than Johnson and will become a UFA when this season ends. I know Johnson isn't exactly tearing it up, but he has been respectable and has put a little deodorant on the Elliott acquisition as the Flames hold on for dear life for a wild card spot. I just really wish he would legally change his name to Ocho Cinco, though. Number 3, Alexander Radulov. So this one is a little different. Alexander Radulov is a Russian-born player who had done some time with the Nashville Predators from 2006 to 2007, then went to the KHL for 4 seasons, then came back to Nashville, then left to go back to the KHL, then was signed this offseason by the Canadiens for a 1-year deal worth $5.75 million. Past trends indicate he'll be headed back to the KHL as soon as this season ends. The signing of Radulov was questioned at the time, and it was kind of like trying to date a chick who you know is going to bounce at some point, but he's easily silenced all that questioning with his play on the ice, and in 53 games has stacked up 41 points, 28 helpers, and 13 goals, logging first-line minutes and clicking with rising star and fellow Rusky Alex Galchenyuk, who is actually an American, but I mean, the dude is Russian, okay? I'd say Radulov is definitely worth the risk of signing him, as he was absolutely tearing up the KHL before he came back to the National. So kudos to the Montreal scouting team, and for once getting it right with signing a once promising Russian. Because, well, that Semin guy, yeah, well, nope. Number 2, Eric Staal. Last year, Eric Staal was traded to the Rangers at the deadline and quietly dumped out into the free agent market scrap heap. You have to remember, Eric Staal used to be an absolute monster in this league, and his 100-point season in 2006 on the way to hoisting the cup was as magical as any elite year we've seen in a long time. But what looked like steady decline in skills and a little get-out-of-dodge syndrome led the former captain to essentially price himself into a lowball contract with the Wild in the offseason. It's hard to believe that Staal was seriously close to demanding serious money from the Canes in order for them to keep him, like $6 million a year serious, but ultimately ended up signing for 3 years, $10.5 million with the Wild, a significant pay cut for him. And instead of just collecting checks until his inevitable retirement, Staal has shown he's got a lot left in the tank and has helped make Minnesota into a contender. Not a let's see how long this will last type arrangement, a legit contender, with Staal putting in first-line minutes, racking up 42 points in 52 games so far, and providing that on-ice leadership and veteran experience that the team was sorely lacking last year when they somehow eked into the playoffs only to get bounced into the first round. All this at a bargain $3 million a year. The eyebrowless wonder looks like the Eric Staal of old, and the Minnesota Wild Bears appreciate it. I get it. The logo is a bear. Number 1, Michael Grabner. Eric Staal should probably be number 1, but a soft spot in my heart goes to Grabner, also an Austrian, as he is having an amazing season for the Blue Shirts. And after 5 really average seasons in the NHL, including last year where he played 80 games and only scored 18 points, he's having a year nobody saw coming. Before I get into this year's stats and his contract, I want to say Grabner has flat-out lightning in his boots. Watch this goal. I love how as soon as he forces a turnover, he kicks the puck to himself and is flat-out gone. He's like, "Yep, you boys ain't catching me." The thing about him this year is his finish. Something is different than last year, as Leafs fans will tell you he had plenty of breakaways in Toronto. He's reading the goalie. Head is up. He's in the zone. Cash money. Here are the stats. 25 goals, 9 assists, a plus-minus rating of plus 24. The biggest stat, 24 of his 25 goals are at even strength, the league leader in that category. He's not camping on the hash for shots on the power play. He's playing incredible defense and creating his own opportunities. All this at $1.6 million a year on a team that could no longer afford Carl Hagelin and clearly missed that speed last year. And like I said, Grabner's got plenty of that. Honestly, I expect to see burnt rubber on the ice when he's out there. So there you have it. Agree with my list? Think of any other free agents that have been worth it? Leave a like and comment your opinion below. And subscribe if you're not already. And if you are already, you know what I'm about to say. I'm 5 Points Gaming, and you made it to the end of this video.